Hi everyone, this is Andy from Wrestlesphere. I'm here just to introduce you very quickly into an amazing interview with Ilja Dragunov. It's coming up very shortly. It was an absolute pleasure to speak to him. As you can imagine, he was very honest, very passionate in all of his answers. It was great to speak to him ahead of his championship match in NXT's Great American Bash this weekend. We managed to cover a bit about his opponent, Carmelo Hayes, what NXT would look like if he were to win the championship this weekend. And of course, we do talk a lot about his pain threshold, which everyone is talking about these days. It's led to some of the most outstanding matches in NXT and NXT UK. So stay tuned to hear about how he taps into, or where he taps into to get through his pain threshold. And we talk a little bit about what music he likes to listen to when he's not inside the wrestling ring, which might surprise a few people. I even get to ask him a question that I've seen all over social media: is would Ilja Dragunov ever join his long-term rival Gunther and join up with Imperium? So definitely one of those to stay tuned for. Here it is. Here's my interview and Wrestlesphere's interview with Ilja Dragunov. I'll jump straight in. You've got a massive match on Sunday against Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. We've seen Bron Breakker, we've seen Carmelo Hayes shape the promotion in their image. If you to win on Sunday, what does NXT start to look like in the era of Ilja Dragunov?
I mean, that's a good question. So you just question the character that I am, the person that I am. I mean, like, do you want to have a brand with the most intense man, probably in the business? Do you want to have a brand with the face of the person with the most passion for the business, with the highest pain resilience in the business? So this is all you're gonna get. So NXT is gonna become the most intense, passionate brand in WWE.
I mean, you mentioned there about your pain threshold, and it's one of the questions that I really wanted to ask you. Is we have a lot of viewers and readers that suffer from both physical and mental issues, and I really want to know, where do you find that mindset to be able to withstand that amount of pain? And do you have any advice for someone that's fighting through pain as well?
Oh, that's a really good question. So first of all, I don't know where I am from. I think it's more of a decision because I really, really, really love what I do, and I hope everybody sees that. And there's nothing you're ever gonna find in a comfortable situation. Nothing that is worth having. Because if you have big goals, if you want to make the difference and achieve probably great things for you always got to get into a kind of uncomfortable situation. But uncomfortable is such an easy word, such a light word. Some situations you need to go through to really get things that are worth having. You got to suffer. You got to go through a lot. It doesn't matter which profession we are talking about. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be scary. It's going to be painful. You will need to suffer a lot. But if there wouldn't be these feelings, physically, emotionally, then it wouldn't have any meaning. And that helps me because I know if I feel it, if I push myself through all of that, the reward of this is that in my profession, the people around me feeling something. They're feeling something honest. They're feeling something real, something authentic. If it's authentic, people can connect to that because it's the truth. I don't lie to the people. I give them all the real emotions I feel at this moment. And if you're honest to people, people trust you. And if they trust you, they're going to connect to you. And they keep holding to this connection, if it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of connection, one of my all-time favorite matches was yourself and Gunther, formerly known obviously as Walter. Your match at NXT UK, and then obviously you had a match in the Performance Center as well on NXT. Do you think that was the match that really introduced you as Ilja Dragunov to the wider WWE universe? Was that your kind of coming out moment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we talked about pain and suffering before right now. And I think these are the things where I can shine the most. If I get into a situation with such an absolutely outstanding performer, like, and those words are even too slightly for this, who can put that amount of pressure on you, on a person like me, who has the biggest talent of presenting the effects of this pressure to the audience, who's going to lose to that? Everybody's winning. Like, that was the moment where I could show the most what is my biggest strength. And it's carrying emotion, it's fighting through pain, and it's eventually succeeding with that.
I mean, those two matches for the NXT UK Championship were so physical, but yet so different at the same time, because maybe it was the fact that you had no fans in the BT Centre, and then the one in front of people at the time, it was the CWC. Which of the two, if you had to pick out of those two matches in particular, was your personal favourite, and why?
My personal favorite. I mean, talking about uncomfortable situations, I would probably say the first. I would probably say the first because it was such a different situation, such a challenge. Because I mean, like, a lot of people will probably struggle with having no audience at all. But
Yeah.
actually, for me, it was more like that's great because I really never care about how many people are sitting in the audience. If I know what I want to create, what should be the result, the adrenaline is already there. Like, I have an adrenaline on the highest level even before I see the first fan. So, and especially with this empty, cold room, all the noises and everything that happened, it felt so different. And also this match was like physically like one of the peak performances I ever had because I remember after the match laying in the ring, I think I couldn't give anything anymore at this point of time when the match was done. There was nothing else I could give at this moment. I was dehydrated. I had no air at all in the lungs anymore. I was done. I literally on this day there was like anything I could possibly give at this point of time.
You mentioned a little bit there about like the fans and the kind of the part they play or don't play sometimes, as well as it was in that example. There's a lot of fans at the moment, speculation, and kind of wishing you onto the main roster already. Is that the kind of noise that you have to phase out, or do you kind of just tap into this is what I want to do? I'm very set on my own career path, or do you start to hear that noise about people wanting you to see you week in, week out on Raw or SmackDown?
I mean, I appreciate those voices and I appreciate all of my fans because, I mean, if my work gives the people a reason to connect to me and see more in me, that's a big compliment. So all fans should feel very appreciated by me. Like, thank you very much for this. And in regards to my career plans, I'm not the guy who plans like a lot in the future, to be honest, because I love every single time I can perform. That's literally it. Wherever I do it, to be honest, for me, of course, in the future, you wish to end up on the main shows. But as as long as I can perform, I gotta give everything. Doesn't matter where I am. As long as I can perform, as long as I can perform with the most honest version of myself, it really doesn't matter where I am. Because again, it doesn't matter where I am, it doesn't matter who is around me, it doesn't matter who's talking to me. There's I gonna constantly put all or the biggest part of my soul into this. And I think that is something that really is making me sticking out because it's not only in the ring, it's just everything I do. I try to do everything passionate because otherwise it doesn't mean anything. So you put soul into something, it becomes art. And that's
Absolutely.
how the way I try to live.
I mean, you spoke about people that you surround yourself with. There's a lot of speculation and a lot of wishes. that maybe one day you might join your kind of rival in Gunther and maybe join Imperium. Is that something that you've ever thought about or would ever be interested in?
My question to this is honestly like, who actually would want that? Because there couldn't be more differences between Imperium and me.
Hmm.
Like those guys are very cold, like very stoic, very methodical. But I am a completely unbalanced, like super intense mad dragon. That's the person I am. So, but this both things they don't fit together, I guess. So,
Hmm.
who wants to see something that is not fitting together?
Absolutely. I mean, speaking of fitting together, though, I do just want to quickly ask you. One of your most infamous rivalries was against someone in the British wrestling scene in Cara Noir, who's obviously going through a little bit of a tough time. Have you got any kind of message for Cara right now in terms of his kind of medical issues he's got going on?
I just hope he recovers as fast as possible. I think like well, my words doesn't don't add anything to this, but I just hope he recovers as quick as possible and as good as possible. I wish him like very the best.
Absolutely. I am really intrigued to see about your kind of inspiration. Like you are so intense that I would love to know when you're working out or traveling, what sort of music inspires you in your day-to-day life?
I listen to all kind of music. That's I think it's something I gotta say because I just like every kind of song. So I feel something when I hear something, and that is what music also should supposed to be. You gotta make people feel something. If you don't make your if the music doesn't make you feel something, then you're not gonna listen to this. So I have a lot of different sources. But something probably more interesting is I am well I like animes very much, and those animes have really nice soundtracks,
Mhm.
and which are also very intense and very passionate. And I remember when I listen to them, I remember certain scenes from them. So I probably think that's a definite go-to for me.
Oh, cool. What would be your favorite anime out of interest?
At the moment, it's like probably it's gonna stay this way. It's Naruto.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in terms of who you are and kind of resonating with yourself as well. So really cool.
I hope so. I think so. I hope, hopefully.
um, Another thing I'm really kind of interested in the last few weeks, you've taken on a little bit of a slight change in your appearance, a bit of facial hair that's grown. What's the kind of thought process behind that? Are you just changing up your look, or have you drawn some inspiration from any WWE legends?
So basically, the answer is pretty easy. First of all, I had a big cut after the Dijak match on my chin, so I couldn't shave myself. Well, I could, but it would look just ridiculous. And I kind of let it grow. And yeah, and then I just saw, okay, actually, I really like what I see. And I'm always a big fan since my very early beginnings in my career of try things. Just try. Because I think a lot of people are holding back because they're kind of afraid of the reaction of others. Maybe they don't like it and look stupid or whatever. But I mean, like, I thought, oh, I like the look. It's kind of fitting to the whole intense man, mad dragon persona. So let it grow. And I still like it. So it was just trying different things. Always in life, try different things. This is the source of creativity.
And the very last question for me, very briefly, why should people be watching the Great American Bash this weekend?
Because you got to see a fight. You got to see something that matters because it built the biggest prize in NXT, and there's no person on this planet who's more ready to give everything that he has to take this spot, to be this person, to be this face of the NXT brand.
Well, thank you very much for your time and best of luck ahead on Sunday.